Hello everyone, this is Stephen Balch, your instructor for Introduction to Macroeconomics at Ozarka College. Hopefully everyone enjoyed the spring break that we recently had, and you're ready to kind of get back and finish up the semester strong. We've just got a few weeks left, so just keep working and we'll finish out strong for this semester. So I've got a couple of reminders for you today, and also I'm going to kind of give you a little bit of feedback on the chapters 11 and 12 activities that I finished grading last week. All right, so it won't be a long video, but I do have a few things to kind of remind you of here. So the first thing is, like I said, I did finish grading the chapters 11 and 12 activities last week. Some of those I had graded before spring break, and the rest of them I finished up towards the end of spring break. So all that should be graded. So go in and look at your grades for the chapters 11 and 12 activities, and let me know if you have any questions at all. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have. The chapters 11 and 12 discussion that we had that dealt with employment agreements and layoffs, I thought that went very well. Hopefully you enjoyed that discussion. I really enjoyed reading everyone's comments, and like I always tell you, I really appreciate the participation on the discussion, and so hopefully you learned some things from that discussion. But like I said, look at your grading comments and your grades for chapters 11 and 12, and just let me know if you have any questions at all. All right, so that brings us to what we've got coming up due next. So if we go to the activities page in my Ozarka, right now we are on week 11 of the semester. It doesn't seem like it should already be that far into the semester, but it is. So really we just have about 5 weeks left. So it's going to go by really fast. So just kind of keep working like you have been, and we'll finish out the semester here. So we've got under week 11, which is this week, towards the end of this week, specifically Friday, April 4th, is when your chapters 13 and 14 activities are due. So be working on those. You've still got a few days to be working on those, but don't wait until Friday night because to get started, because you probably will have other things going on Friday night. So I would really recommend going ahead and working on them, getting started today, and work for the next couple of days on it and get it turned in before the end of Friday, and that way you're not having to try to rush around trying to get it done on Friday evening. All right, and let's very quickly, I'm going to tell you what we're going to be looking at in chapters 13 and 14. Starting off with chapter 13, we're going to be looking at the functions and properties of money. All right, and so you'll look at different, there are various functions. In other words, things that money does for us as a economic system, and then you'll also look at the properties of ideal money. Okay, and then you'll also in chapter 13 look at the banking system, how that works, and then something that's closely tied to the banking system is the Federal Reserve, and so that's a federal agency that kind of controls a lot of the monetary policy of the federal government and the economy. So that's what you're going to be looking at in chapter 13. And then in chapter 14, once we have some basic information about money and the banking system, in chapter 14, you're going to learn about the money supply and how the Fed controls that, how banks work, how banks create money, and then, of course, the Federal Reserve's control of the money supply. All right? And these are things that you hear about on the news a lot lately because of various things like inflation and the interest rates and so forth. And so these chapters 13 and 14 are going to give you a lot more information about things that you're already hearing on the news, and you may wonder what that means. You're going to learn a lot of that in those chapters. Okay? So remember all the resources that you have. You've got your textbook, of course. You've got your PowerPoint slides on the assignment page. You've got the videos that I've linked on the assignment page. So make sure you're using all those resources. That's what they're there for. And I think most of you are, but just I always like to remind everyone that those resources are there. Okay? So be working on those activities. Let me know if you have any questions. And that's all I have for you for today. So enjoy the rest of your week and your weekend. And I will talk to you again sometime early next week. Thank you.